Yeah. Well, we all do, don't we, in the end? Like, I think that's the reality of it. Like, there's quite a funny saying where you spend, like, the first part of your surfing trying to find as many friends as possible, and then, like, and then you try and ditch everyone one by one when you find a spot that you want to be quiet. Like,
Hello and a happy new year and welcome to the UK Surf Show. We are your hosts. I'm Pete.
And I'm Leighton. On this episode we speak to Sally from Yonder.
Yeah, Yonder Surf up in the north of the UK.
Northeast,
yes,
in
northeast.
Those North Sea waters,
Yes.
So she's hard as nails.
Yeah, and this is a really good chat about all sorts of things she goes into, how Yonder was started, her surfing all over the place, surfing all around the world and trips they've been on.
Yeah, so Yonder is they're basically starting a community, aren't they? But they are a surf school
They're not a surf club, like you kept saying.
Not a surf club. They're a surf school for women.
Yeah.
But they're also kind of building a bit of a community, and I know they've started like an online shop as well, and they're doing...
yeah, they've got some really nice clothing, actually.
Yeah.
They've got T-shirts, hoodies, jogging bottoms, hats,
I think there's
sorts.
blogs on there as well on their website now.
Yeah, all sorts of stuff. Before we get into this one, we have to say thank you to our show sponsor, who is North Core. And if you want 15% off from anything you order at North Core for all your surf accessories, you can use the discount code UK Surf Show 2022. That's all uppercased. UK Surf Show 2022. That will get you 15% off anything you order from North Core until the 31st of March 2022.
Yeah, so let's jump into this chat with Sally.
Here we go.
okay, so I'm Sally McGee. I'm a founder of Yonder, which is quite hard sometimes to explain what Yonder is, but yeah, essentially I'm a surf coach. We're a brand, and I run that with my partner Tom. And I'm a mother and a surfer, a long-time surfer in the East Coast, northeast coast of the UK. That's it, really, I think.
Yeah, so you're sort of building a whole community there.
Yeah, we're definitely trying to. I feel like Yonder doesn't want to take like credit for all that. I think there's a general shift, isn't there? It feels like, but yeah, with regards to women and surfing up here, I do feel. Yeah, we've been working really hard on that these past like 3 or 4 years, and not just with the women, with a lot of the lads as well. But yeah, really trying to build on a community, something a bit different, something that we've not really seen up here before. So yeah, it's really exciting.
So it all started, it's all started as like a surfing club, and it's just grown from there, or? Yeah,
it started out, really, I guess it came from me. I've been a surf instructor for a while, but I was also working as a mentor in a school. And then I got pregnant with my son, who's now nearly 4. And it's something I'd wanted to do for a long time, to set up like a women's surf coaching, just getting more women basically, not just in the sea necessarily, although that's something like I really fully support and obviously do. But it was like really trying to get women empowered and knowledgeable and, you know, really understanding everything around surfing and what it involves, and feeling like they could, you know, I hate that word, become, I don't know what phrase to use, like real surfers, but yeah, like knowledgeable, empowered surfers, basically. I just wanted to see that more. It's not something we were seeing. And when I was working as a surf instructor before, it was very much like I think a lot of schools are, and I think there's definitely a place for this, and I think it's great. But it's more of an experience. People just come and you see them once and then that's it. You might see them a couple of times, but not really. I really wanted to, I guess from my mentoring background, I really wanted to like mentor and really support that journey from beginning to like then now, like seeing people progress and head out back. And I really wanted to see that happen. And so yeah, we set up Yonder to do that basically.
I was going to say, I read that you worked at the British Red Cross, was it? Was that mentoring and stuff there before you started Yonder?
Yeah, I've done a few things. I worked for the Refugee Council and the British Red Cross, specifically working with like refugees and destitute asylum seekers. That was like a holistic approach to working, I guess, with people and supporting, I guess, a supportive role. But then I worked in a school as a mentor with like 17, 18-year-olds.
Fun.
So, you know what I did? I think I'm the kind of character that does find that quite fun. But I had like a cohort of 22, so it's manageable, you know. Manageable, and you get to build rapport. So I really like doing that. So that was the aim basically, and it's just it really has seemed to have developed and worked like that, and we're dead proud of it.
Yeah, well, it seems to have exploded because like I've seen it build and build and build, and it's just exploded into like being everywhere now. So you've got to be over the moon with that.
Yeah, you kind of do lots of things, don't you? So Yonder itself, it started off as mainly a female surf club.
Yeah, surf coaching. Yeah, surf coaching.
And you're in the northeast, aren't you? So cold water, really cold water as well.
Yeah, I'm in the same village, I think, as Sandy. You'd interviewed Sandy, I don't know if recently, but I heard that interview. So I live in the village of Sandy up in Tynemouth.
Right.
So it started off as surf coaching, like trying to get more girls in, connect girls, to find their crew. Yeah, that's still what it is though. That's not changed, but I guess like there was a big shift during lockdown. I kind of don't want to always refer back to lockdown. I think it changed a lot of things for a lot of people, and for us in particular, because Yonder was set up in 2018. So when lockdown began or started, we used to run surf camps, surf lessons, and you couldn't do any of that anymore. Like, I think people sometimes forget. It sounds really weird, but because people just ask me, "Oh, really? You couldn't work?" I forgot about that. I'm like, "Well, no, we couldn't leave the house," So we So people like us, and as a self-employed person, I wasn't getting any support either because I was a startup. So we really needed to think outside the box, and we set up a Patreon, which was like so I wanted to continue supporting girls as well through it all and connecting them. So we just figured ways of connecting girls more through different means like Facebook, through WhatsApp groups, and then doing like online stuff with people like workshops and Zoom sessions and that kind of thing. And then we launched the kind of online store side of Yonder, which is that's really grown since. But that started with like We Rise by. I don't know if you saw any of that stuff, but it was really thinking about all our like artists and creative friends and screen printers who were also struggling, like all the independents, the self-employed who were really struggling during that time, and we wanted to just get together and kind of do a big boost. So we produced loads of stuff working with other individuals, which was really exciting, and then it's just kind of grown from there.
Yeah, so that's where the brand kind of was born in lockdown then.
Yeah, I guess. Like I was talking to Tom, because Tom's a massive part of Yonder, though he like tries to get away with hiding behind me. Drives me a little bit mad sometimes because I'm just in the sea teaching, and that's what I do. But or surfing. But I was like, what exactly is a brand, Tom? Like, what is? And we're like, well, just doing what we do is a brand in that sense. But the online store and like selling like the jumpers, and then producing our own wax and the surf skincare products, and selling fins and stuff. But it was born from that. But it was always something we wanted to do. It's just, it gave us, I guess, if you want to think positively about that time, it gave us a kick up the bum to do it, but it also gave us time to we managed to get some childcare, luckily, at the time, because that was a struggle. But it gave us the time to just really focus on it. And so, looking back, that was really, really positive for us. It gave us time out of the water for a bit to do that. Yeah.
Yeah. So you say like Tom's in the background, but Tom's taking all the photos, isn't he, as well?
Yeah, he is. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
some of those are absolutely brilliant as well. Like I've got that thing. I've had it myself before, where I've been taking photos, and you get that thing. You've got loads of photos of other people, but none of yourself. But
doing cool stuff.
Honestly, he's such a good surfer as well, and he never gets anything. And I feel really mean because sometimes, I don't know, I get a lot of pictures of myself because when I'm surfing, he's looking after our son.
Yeah.
And when he's surfing, so he'll just like take pictures, and he will obviously look after our son as well, but he's kind of taking pictures and having a chat to him on the reef. Whereas like when it's the other way around, I'm like rock pooling with Billy, and I'm not interested in taking pictures. So I don't know how he does it actually. Like I couldn't look after Billy and take pictures. I don't know how he does it. So yeah, he's doing a lot of that, and he's a fantastic photographer. We're very lucky to have him.
That was going to be one of the questions. There was: have you found it more difficult, or has it become more difficult being a mother and a surfer? Has that changed your relationship with surfing at all, or is it still just the same?
It's an interesting one. I would say Yonder was started because of having a son, so that's an interesting perspective. But with regards to being a surfer, yeah, it is definitely harder. However, I guess what we've done is just make sure that everything revolves around surfing. So some people, I guess, if they've got other like their job's different from what we do, surf can't be at the centre of it. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So like our days are planned around surfing or shooting surfing or teaching it. And Bill's just, I mean, bless him, he just gets dragged along and seems to really, he just seems to just knows the stuff, doesn't he? He knows all the spots we go to. I think we'll have to like somehow tell him to keep quiet one of these days. But
yeah, he's going to be the coolest kid in school. when he's old enough to go, of course, he's going to be the coolest kid in school. I've got 2 sons as well, and
yeah,
I'm sure you'll experience this when he's old enough to get in and surf. But you start to live it through them again, don't you? Do you know what I mean? I'm sure you can imagine that coming up. And I've got photographs of my eldest son on his first wave, and like his expression while he stood up on that board. You know, it's just priceless. It's almost like enhances your surf life when you're passing it down, you know, passing the knowledge down and things like that.
Yeah, I can totally agree with you on that. Like, he's not even there yet, and I was thinking in the summer we call them billy waves. They're just the little ones, little green ones, or maybe some white water, and I just take him on my shoulders, and he's a bit nervous, to be honest with you. And he rightly tells me he can't swim, so like I don't want to do this. He's quite clever 3-year-old, but I remember just being out there, and it was really tiny, and I just came back in and just thought that was one of the best sessions I've ever had. And he was just on my shoulders, like telling me to put my head down, and why did I pull back? Like, because I was nervous that, you know, I've got to control this board with this little kid on the back of me. But yeah, he was like telling me certain things, and it was just cool. And you just think what a lovely experience they're going to have, like learning from such a young age.
Definitely, yeah.
The Groms I teach, though, I teach some really young girls, and I love watching them progress and like the stoke they get from catching waves. So it's cool. Just teaching surfing, you get that, to be honest, in general.
Is the surf club, is it just mainly for girls, or you mentioned some guys at the very start there? Is it expanded into guys joining as well?
No, it is purely for. It's not a club. It's so I think like we do. How do I explain what we do? I've got like the charity element of Surf Yonder, which is the community interest company, which is similar to Yvette down in Devon, the Marines, which I love what they do, and I speak to Yvette about what she's doing down there and try and get like little tips and advice off her and stuff, which is cool. But that I have like worked with like inner city kids, and I'm happy to work with boys doing stuff there as well. And like I am in general, like it's not that I want to exclude boys or men from teaching. I just know that from what I saw up here, and I can only speak from my own experience, I just wasn't seeing any girls in the water, and I would see a lot of men. And a lot of the surfers that I have like surfed with for years have been men, and it's been great. But I just wondered why, and wanted to address something that I thought needed addressing, and I haven't stepped away from that really. That is the main goal and aim of Yonder. But it's not. It's definitely never to separate. It's to introduce and welcome and like have everyone be a part of this together. And I've had like lads come up to me and say like they absolutely love the lineup now out back. It's like so friendly and like just changed. And yeah, and then we have film nights, and so we get so much support off the community, and definitely like the local lads that surf as well. So that's just great. It's just we've tried to be, do it in a really respectful way, just like yeah, I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, it is still, to answer your question really briefly, it is women and women focused, but the brand itself is like putting women at the front, which I think is, women are often like an afterthought with brands. I don't know, I always felt like that anyway. Like,
yeah, because it is kind of a male dominated sport, isn't it? So I suppose you're creating a kind of a safe space for women to come and give it a go, you know, and because, you know, you're all kind of together out there, and there's no, you know, it's just safe, I suppose. Just feels safe in like women in kind of like-minded, you know, they want to go and give it a go, and they can all get together, and then you coach them, and you obviously clearly know what you're talking about with surfing.
yeah.
So it's a bit of a nice way of getting into it, I suppose.
Yeah, it's a nice introduction, isn't it? Through something, as you said, like Surf Yonder or like Wave Wahinis, and introducing women into the sport of surfing and getting to know everything, and then, you know, watching them progress and going out into the lineup and, you know, holding their own, and even, well, a lot of the women I've seen down here, not only holding their own, ripping a lot harder than a lot of the men, to be honest.
Yeah,
and a lot better.
That's so true. Like when I do, like, if we're doing interviews talking about what we do with Yonder, I always really want to stress that I know there's like so many good girls out there, lasses out there who are ripping, doing really, you know, doing us everyone proud. And the other thing with Yonder, we want to showcase that more, because it's not really something that is actually maybe seen with regards to mainstream surf media. I know, like, how do I explain it? Like, how many girls do you see let's think UK, because like the surf scene's pretty huge, isn't it? If you think across the world, if you just think about the UK, how many women do you see coming out of like the East Coast or the Northeast or even Scotland?
Yeah,
really?
yeah. It's not. You were saying, as you were saying that, then I was just thinking, actually, I've not seen, apart from short little things on like Instagram or some little YouTube ones, I've not seen, which would be a good one to do, an all-female surf film that's come out. You know,
funny you should say
like,
that, because we're working on one at the minute.
There you go, then. Well,
but for that very reason, like, I'm obviously this is our world, and I'm embedded in this, so I'm always on the lookout for stuff. We run surf camps, and we have like every night of one night of the surf camp we do inspirational films. And like I said, we started nearly 4 years ago. Maybe 4 years ago? Yeah, 4 years ago now, I reckon. And yeah, sorry, when we were looking for these inspirational films, they were never in the UK or like cold water stuff. Now I look to Fino, like I love what they're doing over there, and they've produced some great stuff. So that's cool. And obviously there is more stuff coming through. There's the Need Essential edits and stuff, and that's really cool. But we don't really have. And we've got such a brilliant, like, amazing culture of surfing in the UK. Like, I'm very proud of it. And I know, like, you guys must be as well. And, like, you know, the East Coast has got a reputation. The North East Coast has got a reputation. And there's girls up here really, you know, trying really hard, like, to just for themselves, just to, like, do, you know, surf the places they want to surf. But there's not many of us. And then there's now this whole new, like, it's very fledgling. It's coming through. And even in the past 3 years, I'm like seeing, you know, I've had people come on a beginner camp, and then the next year they're on like the improver camp. And then I've just put my first intermediate camp on. I'm like, yes, we're seeing it. It's starting. It's happening. We can see this more. And, you know, it'll be a few years down the line. And that, you know, this is not to say that these girls don't exist, but I could probably, unless I'm missing them, I can say like 5 or 6, you know, that I can think of.
Yeah.
Surfing those spots that you talk about when you talk about Sandy and you talk about, you know, the lads.
Yeah.
And we're going to hopefully, you know, and we'll keep trying to showcase that, because we have that. It's fledgling community. It's a culture, but like we've got it and we're really proud of it. And it's really cool. Really cool.
Yeah. Well, you said about camps then. So you've run camps so far in Tynemouth and in Devon. Is there anywhere, if you could do anywhere in the world or anywhere in the UK, where would you want to run a camp?
Anywhere in the world, anywhere in the UK. Scarborough.
Scarborough.
Yeah. I mean, that was my immediate response. Like, I know it. Do you know what I mean? It's what you know, isn't it? And like, I can, when the wind's in one direction and the swell's coming from another, or like whatever, I know where to go. I know where to take people. The camps are not I do, and I'd be interested to know, like, if other camps, other surf schools are similar to what we do here, because I don't think so. And it's not. I'm not a blow my own trumpet kind of person. I'm not. So it's not about that. But it's very unique what I think we do, because we don't. It's not like, all right, the surf camp or the surf lesson is at 2:00 and 4:00. I have a broadcast where I look at the charts. I send it out and I say, we're going to be at 7 a.m. and we're going to be here. And then when they get there, I explain why. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's really teaching people properly. I really want people to really, like, anyone who comes on a surf lesson or a surf camp with us, I want them to go away, like, knowing how to be safe, like, going away being knowledgeable.
Yeah, that's a massive difference. That's a massive difference than anything I've ever heard. I think you're actually the first person that's ever come on and said anything like that. That's how I want them to learn, because that was one of our main struggles for years, not knowing when to go or how to read a surf forecast properly.
And you know, if you go in better conditions, it's actually easier to surf, isn't it? If you're not fighting through all the white water all the time, completely exhausting yourself, if you can get a nice clean day, and everything just works better, doesn't it, on those days?
I agree with you. There's two parts to that, because there's the way I say with regards to the broadcast so the way I work it with sending out alerts to people and saying, like, book on now because this is what we're doing. The other thing I want to say is that the group sizes are really small, like either 4, 5 or 6 max, never any more than that as well. But yeah, I would say yes, if you get that, like, perfect day. I always, like I had this morning, actually, I had a lesson this morning at 7 till 9, and it was it was just brilliant, absolutely amazing, just tiny, like, there was like bigger waves on the sets, but we were just like snagging these little ones on the inside, trying to like teach going down the line for the first time. And I was really, talking about like timing on the wave. Like, if you learn to time and read and catch like the right wave and be on the right position of that wave, like the pop up, this thing that people think is the hardest thing in the world, and like you've got to have all the strength in the world. Like, it's not as tough as people think, but like timing is key. So yeah, getting out on a good day, you're going to catch these waves and it's going to be the best experience ever. However, you need to experience like the other days, the days where you're like getting absolutely bombarded and battered. And, I always tell people, just get in, because then you learn about waves as well, don't you? You learn what that wave's going to do. You learn like how to handle yourself. If you just wait for those perfect days when you're learning, then you're going to struggle to read waves properly. You're going to struggle to learn like the whole part of surfing that, like, and the fun part. We've got to remember that. I can be quite serious about this sometimes, but actually, it's just about getting out there and having fun, isn't it?
Yeah, and you're going to be waiting for a long time for these perfect days in the UK. They're few and far between, aren't they?
Yeah, I surf once a year.
Exactly. When I put sessions on that, like, and then maybe it's the first one and it's like the most perfect conditions, I'm really unlucky. Today is really special day. Like. So
do you get to actually surf in the surf lesson that you're taking? Are you surfing your own board in there, or are you like, because I know some instructors are kind of like on the back of the board sometimes, or they're just out in the water, just kind of bobbing around and telling them when to paddle and things like that, or are you actually on a board and you get to surf?
A bit of both. Mainly I'm in the water. I'm never just on the side, unless we're doing like video analysis stuff, but yeah, I'm in the water with them, talking through the whole thing, like, look behind you now, like, head towards the peak, start, turning now, paddling now, go kind of thing. So that's me bobbing around, I guess, in the water. And then, I think it's really important to have a little surf with your crew and the people that you're teaching, because then, it's good. It's fun anyway, and it's hard to like not, but I will probably only catch like 3 or 4 waves, and then maybe to do a little demo, because sometimes it's important for people to really watch. I find a lot of the time I'm teaching people, they've never actually, other than maybe a how-to video, they've never actually really sat and watched surfing, and you can learn so much from just watching.
Well, that's what I was going to say, because if they can see you do it, like you said, a demonstration, and they're seeing you ride the waves that they're about to ride, how you're working it out, and like you said, it's not always just about the pop-up, is it? It's when you're on your feet as well, and how you're using that wave and getting the most out of it, and they can see what you're doing, and then you can describe how you did that and why you did that, and then they're going to ride the exact same waves that you've just been riding. So,
do you know when you learn it, and like, I know you'll remember this, you know, like just trying to choose the right wave. Often you'll sit, I find people sit on the shoulder and there's no power there, and they'll paddle and paddle like crazy for it. But really they just needed to be like closer towards that peak. So like often I do spend sessions where I'm paddling and showing people like paddle, sit on your board, spin it round, you know, go now kind of thing. And then I encourage people to get out on flat days, like, and practice that, because you need to be fairly quick at doing that. But if you haven't had time, I don't know, it takes time, doesn't it, experience and stuff. But I like building the foundations so they can go and do that themselves, like in between sessions and stuff.
Yeah, well, I was just going to say, if we come up to you, can you teach us how to do that? There's something.
That, you know, actually, I'd love to get you, and I'm sure you don't need to, but I'd love to have a session. You should definitely come up.
We would love it. We still have stuff like that though now. Like, well, throughout the summer, because it was so rubbish, we spent ages out of the water, and we got back in, and it was that thing of sort of, I'm in the wrong place, and you know, you just like lost everything of like, I'm in the wrong place. We can't seem to catch anything.
Yeah, you learn the ability to read the sea. But quite quickly.
You lose that, quite quickly, I think. Yeah. So you're on your training. What is it? Is it ASI or ISA? Because there's a difference between them, isn't there?
I'm ASI. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a difference, and what can you explain it? Because I was looking into it, and I don't know what it is.
Did you pick up, like, I don't know, like, did you see anything at all about the difference? Or
there's something. The ASI one looked a lot harder to me.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? It's a strange one, and if you speak to different instructors around the country or different schools, but ASI are just similar to ISA, but the actual qualification to become a surf instructor is a lot harder. So I would think that that's like better. But
because I saw the ASI, you have to be able to do like top turns and bottom turns and cutbacks and all sorts of stuff, don't you? Whereas the ISA, you just have to go left and right, basically.
So that's a qualification that the coach needs to be able to do. That's the kind of criteria for the coach, needs to be able to do top and bottom turns. Well, yes, I mean, surely a better surfer as a coach is going to be a better coach.
Just see how many people we're just offending now.
There is a couple of things to that, though, I guess. Like, you want to, because a really good surfer might be a terrible instructor, to be perfectly honest, because they like struggle with the teaching part of it, and you know, that's kind of a fair comment in that sense. But I think, for me, it is a bit concerning, really, that you just need to be able to stand up and go down the line. But I guess, like, a lot of the time that is the thing, isn't it? It's just, and I'm sure a lot of the surf instructors who are ISA are more experienced than that. Do you know what I mean? Like, but it is like really making it, it's kind of also devaluing all the hard work, I think, that a lot of us who were instructors before that came into place, because ISA wasn't always like that easy, I'm sure. And it's just, it is a bit of a shame, really. I don't really understand it, because I think people going for lessons would want and expect more than that, but often it is just that first lesson, isn't it? And that's what's different. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm desperate to like develop myself and like get better and get, like, you know, it's almost like, what is it, CPD? I'm self-employed, so I don't get any of that anymore, but like do my own CPD and, you know, get better at what I do. But I guess I do that from trying to do video analysis myself, and we just we do a lot of that and thinking about how to teach people better by looking at what.
So you're taking, like, what level are you taking the girls in your surf club to? Like, is it you're like reaching like an expert level or an advanced level, or?
No, I don't think so. No, with regards to what that means with what expert and advanced means with regards to ASI or ISA, I'm not sure if that's what you mean, but. No, I'm pretty much like it's intermediate, and we've only just started to do that, really, because that's where the girls that I'm teaching are at. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've developed with them as to what they need.
What would you class as an intermediate surfer?
Well, I was just going to say then, I get like, if you think about like longboarding and stuff, cross-stepping, I'm pretty sure that wouldn't be classed as anything on any of the qualifications as a surf instructor. Do you know what I mean?
No.
It's probably not on there, but that's something that I feel if I have the right conditions, which is an issue we have up here, to teach that's great, but it wouldn't be on there. So I don't know. I wouldn't like to speak out. I'm sure someone listening to this and go, "What's she on about? Like intermediate means this." But intermediate for me and our surf school and the girls I'm teaching, literally will mean that you're. So if I'm thinking, right, I'm running an intermediate camp, and it's interesting because I know really who those people are going to be, and they're contacting me, they're asking me that they're at this level, and is this going to work for them, kind of thing. And basically, I'm needing to know that I can take all those girls out back together.
Yeah.
I'm not going to have like someone who's needs to be on the inside because they're a bit worried. I mean, if that happens, you know what I mean? But like the idea when you come on it, you're feeling like, yeah, I can go out back. And then maybe like they're getting in a lot independently, or maybe with their, their crew, not with myself. They can read waves, they can turn, they can catch them, but they're like, maybe they still might be struggling when they're on that wave. But that's what I've classed as intermediate, and I've explained it really clearly. It's like very personal to Yonder what that means. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes sense. If they're they're competent, safe surfers that can get out the back and catch unbroken waves. Yeah, I mean that's.
Don't want to talk about the cross stepping though. That's a sore subject with me.
Yeah. So have you? Since lockdown, have you noticed a boom in women coming into surfing?
Yeah, I think in general, just surfers. There's so many more people interested in getting into it, aren't there? I think like availability as well. I mean, that's dropped off a little bit more, but with what was it called? The thing that I didn't get, furlough. With furlough, there were a lot of people able to, and also working from home, a lot more people. You're seeing a lot more people in the sea, basically. Yeah, the school, I can't handle like the demand. Like there's so much demand for girls and women surfing, but that was growing steadily anyway. But yeah, pretty fast actually. It wasn't going steadily, was it? We had a lot of people pretty quick wanting to do it.
So that brings me on to another question, which is, because it's a family business, are you finding it hard to keep it a family business, or are you getting to the point where you're going to have to go, actually, I'm going to need to expand and start getting some more coaches in?
I did try it. I did try it for a bit, but it was mainly like pressure from elsewhere, like saying that I should do it because it would be good and more people are wanting surf lessons. So like, why not give them surf lessons by like employing someone else? Because I've got a son, I want to surf myself, I've got the other part of the work, and I've got like basic life to do as well, and like the Yonder that's not just teaching. So I'm not able to like do as many lessons as the demands there. I did try, but like I don't know, it didn't really work out. And at the end of the day, like I really love the fact that, and I think a lot of the girls do, the fact that they'll see me and then they'll see me and then they'll see me, and I know exactly where they're at, what's going on. And I've never I don't know, I look at like some, I think Women in Waves, they're pretty huge and they're doing something similar. They started at the same time as us. Yeah. But like, I just think we're just different. I don't think we're set to be massive. I don't think that's the whole point of like what, like me as a surfer and what I love doing is working with these small groups. I think like it's important to like introduce people, like it's not like en masse, like getting millions and millions of people in the sea. It's about like giving quality teaching. I think if I lose that, I'm not going to really want to.
Yeah, better to keep it small and intimate.
I really like that part of it. And I think if you grow, then you start needing to like, well, then you start needing to like pay more and do this more and like have it, and then you've got responsibility in managing people and supporting. And I'm just not interested. I just want to be.
No, yeah, it's a bit more personal, isn't it? Doing it the way that you are.
I want to have low impact as well. Like our beach, I think it's a mile long, but you can only surf on a certain part of it in the south end of it, really. And there's 2 other surf schools there, and they sometimes you've got 60 or 80 people in from both together, if not more, and it just gets wild, and I like the fact, I feel pretty proud that I just take in like maximum 6 girls, maybe 4, maybe 1-to-1s, and we're just like low impact, we're just getting stuff done. And I think that's really introducing the women into surfing really respectfully as well, and like into the community and people. That's why it's been embraced by people, I think, anyway. Don't know what your thoughts are on that. It's interesting. You surf Saunton a lot, don't you?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, and
to be honest, Leighton loves Saunton. I love going to a different place just because it's quieter. I do love Saunton. I love surfing there. It's a nice wave, but I love going to other places that are quieter.
Yeah, well, we all do, don't we? In the end, like I think that's the reality of it. Like, there's quite a funny saying where you spend like the first part of your surfing trying to find as many friends as possible, and then and then you try and ditch everyone one by one when you find a spot that you want to be quiet. Like,
yeah, that's definitely true.
I've been trying to ditch this one for ages, but he just won't leave me alone.
So I noticed on your blog, on your website, that you attended the COP protests.
Well, yeah.
Recently, how did you find it? How did it go? What was the vibe like there?
Oh, it was great. Yeah, I mean, I'm from a background of like activism, to be honest with you. It's like, yeah, ever since I was like 15, I've been doing that, going to protests, studying politics, international development. Like, it's like pretty much in me, my family, and what I've always done. And there's no way I'm not going to get my son involved in stuff like that as well. It was great
amazing.
I think it's important. I think, like, I'm not a surfing sewage rep anymore, but I'm very much involved. I just couldn't do everything and do it justice, so we took a step back like last year. But the truth is, and I'm sure if you speak to, and I know like there's Crabby, Steve Crawford down in Scarborough, there's like Andrew here, and there's like SAS reps all over. When you do like something, when you do like a beach clean or anything kind of event like that, or even this protest, like the reality is, sadly, there's a lot of the time the surfers don't come. Surfers just don't come. I even think that day they were surfing, like you're always tempted to just surf instead, and like I get that. But it needs us. It needs surfers to like stand up for the thing that we love, and like the ocean's so important to us, but we need to give stuff back. So it's really important. It's really important that we're attending things like that. And even if it's just to send a message out and, positive, like getting some photos, showing people that people care really. And showing my kid that it's important,
Yeah. I do like the fact that you're saying like surfers not turning up. The thing that surfers did turn up to recently was online, and everybody got involved in the sewage bill.
Okay, and, that's great. Yeah, that's brilliant.
That's what
you need, isn't it, at the end of the day. Yeah. You need people really acting on that, so that's brilliant.
But so that sort of poses a question: does it make more sense now to protest like that or protest online? Because that seemed to be the amount of people that turned around and just went, "No, we're not having it," and the government had to backpedal on it.
Oh yeah, I mean that's always been the way, hasn't it? But like as in, okay, so media is basically, you need the media attention, and whether it's now through social media, you grab like so many people, depending on who's able to put it out there and who's able to support it. That's why I feel like, as a platform, it's really important that we show ourselves, align ourselves with things like that, because then more people hear about it and then more people get involved. Protests, were always about getting the media's attention to then get that word out there, because there was no other way of getting it out there.
Yeah.
But I think the other thing that's good about protest compared to like the online stuff, I mean, it's protest, isn't there? This was just a really positive, everyone's just having a laugh. There's no negative vibes. There's no fighting the police or anything daft like that. It was just purely get dressed up and have a sing song and march down, to Monument.
Yeah, raise awareness. Yeah.
Yeah, it was really positive. And that's like, you're meeting other people and you're chatting to people and you don't feel so alone, and you could just be sat behind your screen just like doing something, and that's great as well. Like, do you know what I mean? I think there's a place for both, as long as they're positive and getting the message out there.
It's that visual imagery of people coming together at a protest. Well, I think that's what it is, isn't it? It's to show there is a community here, and we're passionate, and we're gonna come together when we feel passionate about something, and we're gonna fight it.
Yeah, and I think
because now like social media is there, and you just see there were so many posts over the last week of protests and stuff, and it it inspires other surfers to turn up as well. I really wanted to go to. There was one in Bristol, but my partner's pregnant at the moment, and with all the COVID thing and all that, it was just a little bit, Yeah. But I really, really wanted to go. And take my two boys as well to kind of show them, that this is what you do when you're passionate about something to make a change.
Yeah, and I think that with the online side of it as well, it helps in a way where I think a lot of people feel, what can I do? I'm one person. What will it make a difference? What do I do? But with an online voice, they can say that louder than they would be able to, or even if they're doing it,
you just got to do both. You just got to do both.
It's also easier, and that's not said in a negative way. Or it's easier to do that. That's a good thing. It's easier to, like I think quite a few of us put out there like a link in the bio to what SAS were asking for. Like they were helping contact your MP really easily, and it was brilliant. Like that's such a good way to positively send that message. But then you get those images alongside it of people, and you feel like motivated and inspired. It just helps, doesn't it? As long as it's positive, like that's great.
Because you feel kind of useless, don't you? A little bit lost. So if you can do everything you can, which is do all the online stuff and go to the protests, then it does feel like you're making an impact. And then you get to meet like-minded people as well, which is always good.
It's cool. I mean, it doesn't take much. I mean, we were there for like 40 minutes, you know what I mean? And Billy cried because he wanted to keep marching, honking. Time to go home. It's about to start raining. 40 minutes out of your life. It was nothing.
Yeah, but is that you can tell he's his mother's son. He just wanted to carry on marching. I'm
proper activist.
I was so proud of it, and he was carrying this like stuffed dolphin that my brother had made him when he was first born, and he's carrying it, and then this LBC news person came up to him and wanted to ask him questions, and I was thinking, oh God, what's he going to say here? Like, I was like, literally, he was on Tom's shoulders, and I'm marched out in front thinking, I don't want to hear this. And then she says, what have you got there? And he's like, oh no, what's this? Oh, it's a dolphin. What does that mean? And he goes, it means stop putting plastic in the sea. And I was like, get in. Like,
brilliant. Fair to him.
I don't want him to worry about this, but it's good that he knows about it and then thinks he can do something. He felt like he'd done something that day, and that's great feeling for him.
I mean, I think kids should be taught it, to be honest. They're going to be the generation that has to deal with this. So
I think also a lot of people find that have more impact on them, a 3-year-old saying, this is a dolphin, stop putting plastic in the sea, than someone actually shouting at them or telling them what they should be doing. Yeah,
definitely. Stronger image.
It doesn't work to be made to feel like you're bad or you're not doing something right. That never helps. You always need a solution. Someone needs to suggest something that's like attainable, tangible, that you can actually do to make a difference. Otherwise you do feel defeatist and like you can't do a thing. So I think little small attainable things and I don't know. Yeah, it's all good. All good. A lot to do.
Yeah, there isn't there. So another point I was going to ask you about was, seeing as you're a well-travelled surfer, where are some of the best places you've been surfed around the world, and what weird things or strange things have happened to you on those trips? Because I know you've been on a few.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to say the best place to surf is the East Coast, so we'll get that one out of the way. So that said, we've been really lucky, or we've put ourselves in a position where we're often not earning much and pretty skint, and we work pretty well to a tight budget, and we did. I think the best trip we've ever done, and I hope to do it again, but was definitely the motorbike surf trip we did from Chile up to North America. That was just an amazing experience. We did that for a year.
Wow. That sounds like a film.
Yeah, well, we have got it's called Santiago to San Francisco. And to be honest, it's quite funny because it's always all the positive, dreamy bits of the experience. And every time anything negative happens, I was like, what the heck are you filming for? Put that camera
So
don't film it. Like, help me.
So what are some of the negative things that weren't on that film? So you've got to tell us some of them now.
Oh, honestly, you can't even imagine. We ended up going through the Atacama. Honestly, I don't even know how we survived. Honestly, we were on 150s. Like, I don't know if you looked it up, but we were on little 150 Honda, like dirt bikes. Everyone, no one was traveling on them other than locals from like place to place. But we were doing this whole like 15 16,000 miles. 16,000 miles. On these little dirt bikes, trying to go down like not the main roads, especially in Chile. Like there's huge roads in Chile with massive trucks, lorries, because we've got like a lot of construction and mining. So I was like desperate to get on these like little dirt roads, and we had to go through the Atacama Desert. And I don't know if you've ever seen that. If you look on Google Earth, it's just incredible, expansive desert. And we lost our water. We ran out of fuel. We didn't know if we'd make it to the next location. We had to like coast down mountainsides. We got attacked by dogs. I mean, I got bitten by a dog and had to like get stitches. There's loads of stuff. We got from Panama to Colombia to Panama. We were on a drug smuggling boat with Panama. Honestly, the cartel on you should read the story. But a lot happened. Yeah, a lot happened. But it was a real
sounds like a proper surf adventure.
Lifetime. Yeah, it really was. It was good. We surfed some pretty incredible waves out there that I definitely want to go back to revisit.
What was the best place you surfed out there on that trip?
Mine that immediately comes to mind was places in El Salvador. Like I fell in love with El Salvador. Baja is like a dream. Like we had there was a hurricane, so we were on these dirt bikes, and there was a hurricane hitting Baja, and so we headed into like a hotel. We'd sleep on the beaches a lot. So we headed into a hotel for a couple of nights, let the hurricane hit and pass, and then we heading off to Scorpion Bay. And when we arrived, there was the bridge had totally collapsed with this storm that had come through. And everyone that was at Scorpion Bay before, which is in the middle of nowhere, I don't know if you know, like I looked into Baja, I've ever seen Scorpion Bay anywhere, but it's like this well-renowned, like historic, like just like place where you have to go and surf. It's just incredible. Yeah. But there's just nothing much there. And it's quite difficult to get to, and a lot of time people are like in 4x4s and stuff. But anyway, they'd all had to leave, seek safety, but we were like pretty much the only people who were on these dirt bikes, and we just crossed the river. We just went straight through the river, and no one else could, and so we just surfed Scorpion Bay with like 2 other people, which is one of the best surf spots in the world, really. And
because normally it's pretty busy, isn't it?
Yeah, and no one could get back over for like a good few years until they fixed the bridge, and we were like, oh, it's just the best experience ever. So that was cool. We had a lot of fun times like that. We crossed from Costa Rica. What did we cross Costa Rica? From where would it be? Panama to Costa Rica. We did it without even going through a border, because we just went across the beach through the jungle, and then we're like, oh, we better go back and do it properly. But yeah, and just surf spots like that, you know. Yeah, these dirt bikes took us places. They were pretty amazing.
That sounds like an amazing trip.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah. So, and then obviously all the trips and all the things like that led to Yonder. So if you could go back to, when was it, 27th of July 2018, was that when it launched? I think it was, I read.
Yeah.
If you could go back to that time, what do you wish you'd known then that you know now, and what would you do different if you had to do anything different?
You mean setting up Yonder?
Yeah.
What do you mean? What would you do different? I don't think anything. Is that a crazy thing to say?
No, that's a great thing to say, isn't it? If there's nothing you would have changed, then you know it's going in the right direction. And
nothing's jumping out at me that we would do different. It was hard. Like, I'm going to be honest. Like, I just had the situation. Obviously, as a mum, you find yourself in, and as young parents or just parents, when you have a kid in the UK, the childcare is so expensive, isn't it? And we don't have family that live up here with us, so I had to quit my job working in the school, and as a surf instructor, they couldn't support me with regular work. So I was like, I've got to figure something out here, because otherwise I'm going to send my child to nursery at a really young age, and literally I'll probably earn a tenner difference with the job I was doing. So it just seems like I should look after Billy myself and like try and figure something out. So I looked after Billy for 2 years. In 2018, obviously he's my son, so I look after him still. But do you know what I mean? Like, without any child care support, with Tom, obviously a massive part of this. But he was doing his photography that was taking him like all over and doing different stuff. He wasn't he was a part of Yonder, but he wasn't like all about Yonder. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, setting up a business with a newborn and then till he was 2 was really, really tough. But we just took it. We just kept telling ourselves it doesn't matter. We just need to just slowly go, work at it and just build it. And we just built it slowly, and it's still slow and small. And I think that's who we will always be. Obviously we need to make a living off it, and we try and do it in the most integral, genuine way that we can. I hope that comes across. It's hard sometimes when people don't know you, isn't it, on social media, and they don't know.
I think it definitely is coming across. Definitely is.
Cool. Yeah.
So what have you got planned for the future for Yonder?
So continuing doing as we're doing, nice and steady. I think obviously there was a blip with in a way with COVID, camps got cancelled and stuff. But yeah, I've just put on 3 new camps for spring, so that's the first proper ones we've put on really since it all happened. So continue doing them. We've got the community interest side of Yonder, which works with women and young girls in the community who couldn't afford surf lessons or wouldn't think to surf, but trying to really get the benefits of being in the ocean. So we'll continue to do that. I've just been asked to. I've been working with Finisterre quite a while now, and I'm really I'm really pleased. Well, I'm just really chuffed that they support what we do, and really proud of that that relationship I have. But they've asked us to be an ambassador, so that's really exciting. And they've
that's good.
Things that we would like to do in the pipeline the future to work together, which will help doing what we're doing at Yonder, and also myself as a surfer. So that's great. Doing this film, we're really excited because Yonder's not just about the teaching part of it. It's about representing and showcasing female surfers, and really trying to be a voice that's just showing women. You got to see it to be it. Is that the thing? So really, showing, this is something, and this is what we do. We wear mitts, hoods, boots, gloves. We go out when it's snowing. We surf these places that can be pretty brutal and challenging, but we're doing it, and we might not be the best surfers in the world, but we're having fun and making connections and relationships. But yeah, huge part of that as well I haven't mentioned, is the connections. I work really hard to put girls in touch with each other that I know are at similar levels, and maybe they're struggling to get out because they don't know anybody. I see that they would. I know you'd get on really well with such and such, and I asked, do you want to swap numbers? And it's cool because I see those relationships build, and so we'll keep helping build those connections. And just keep it up really, just nice and slow. Yeah,
well that all sounds absolutely brilliant. I mean, the connection thing is something. I think there needs to be something out there for surfers to connect, not only through clubs and schools and groups and stuff like that. There needs to be something in general for people to connect, because I've had it myself where because I'm self-employed and Leighton's employed, so when he's been working and there's been a good surf day and I've gone, I want to go surfing, and half the time I'm I just can't be bothered to go down there on my own, drive down on my own. So, unless someone else I know that's self-employed has got that day off. Yeah. But it'd be good to have something to connect people like that.
Yeah. You need that, don't you? Someone to push you. Otherwise, or, someone to just, encourage you to get into that wetsuit, or wake up at 6 a.m. when you think, I just want to go back to bed, because they're relying on you to get up.
Yeah. Well, we all know as well as surfers that the best surfs are when they're shared.
Yeah, exactly. There definitely is. And I feel like that a lot. For Yonder, I've connected with some really rad girls that I now surf with, because often it was I'm teaching people to surf, but I want to be surfing with girls that are at the same level as me, or that can push me, or do you know what I mean? And I've found that through Yonder with Emma down in Saltburn, Elle and Jen up in Scotland, and it's so important for me to have that, and the lads that I surf with as well, making sure. The other day, it was yesterday, we spent surfing, one of the more waves of consequence, whatever. And I was I don't want to go out there by myself. Who? And I'm like, Matty, are you heading out? He's like, yeah, I'm definitely heading out. I'm like, right, I'll meet you there. We're going together. Yeah. You need it, don't you? You really do. And it's just, you need it if it's those kind of waves. And then you just want to have, I don't know, You do. You just want to have fun and share waves on other days as well.
Well, I noticed you just said the waves of consequences out there. Have you had any nasty wipeouts out there?
Oh, definitely, yeah.
What sticks to your memory when you must have one that you just go, oh, that was really bad or really close.
Yeah, I mean, I've had a lot of wipeouts. I think, like, I always say to the girls, like, you really need to just wipe out, and realise you're going to be all right. And I think that's like always been my attitude. But and why you get better from that, don't you? But yeah. I was surfing well-known Scottish wave last year, and ended up weird because I wouldn't even say it was like the worst wipeout I've ever had at all. But like the lip of the wave. So I caught it. It was like a pretty good day for it. And then there was like 2 or 3 people in front of me, and I just got target fixation. I was like going down the face of the wave, like, you know, when you're going down to do your bottom turn, I was like, oh, there's these people here. What the hell am I going to do? And I just kept looking at them, and then it was too late by the time I took into the barrel, and basically the lip just hit my shoulders. And the impact, I didn't know this at the time, but the impact broke my foot, not anything else. The impact from that wave on my shoulder, it's called a Liz Frank fracture, and it comes from like impact above. Like they get it in rugby.
Wow.
Yeah.
So your impact on your shoulder broke your foot. So it hit your shoulder so hard that it compressed down through your body into your foot.
I thought, and you know, like in the position you are when you surf, like you need everything's like it was my metatarsal. I don't know, like my bit.
Yeah.
First one. So it basically separated those 2 bones and put a hole in. That was pretty grim. But like I went back out because I was like, I can't have broken anything. That was insane. Like you don't break something. And then
you don't break your foot from being hit on the head. Yeah.
You don't want like a surf buddy, to be honest. Because I went out hobbling, and Tom's like, "What are you on about? Like, there's no way you broke something there. That's ridiculous. Like, what are you doing? Let's go back in. Get back in." Yeah. And I was like, I think he should have
walk it off.
Because then I surfed, caught 2 more waves and couldn't put any pressure on my back foot, and then they were probably my worst wipeouts I've ever had. And then I surfed again the next day. But yeah, that was bad because I was out of the water all last winter with a broken foot. Surgery in January, which I'm very grateful for. But genuinely, I didn't think I would ever be able to surf again. They're called the career enders, those injuries.
No.
Can't do much. But yeah, my amazing surgeon, I say my surgeon, NHS, but my surgeon, he was he fixed me. He put a false bit of elastic band in there, pulled it back together. Pretty cool.
Oh my god! So it was a serious injury then.
Yeah, it wasn't cool. But like, yeah, I've had worse wipeouts, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Weird. Yeah, I know what you mean. You have worse wipeouts. It seems to be the ones
scarier wipeouts.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, it seems to be those ones that you don't think are that bad are the ones where you do real damage.
Yeah, when it was a big day. But yeah, it was exactly like I've had ones where you tumble and you hit the bottom and you hit your head and you think, oh, that could have been serious. Like, something like that. Yeah, I wouldn't have thought I could break a foot. But yeah.
No, I think that's. Just remembering our interview with Ben Larg, actually, he, obviously surfing like 30 to 40 foot waves. And when we were chatting to him, he was just getting back in the water after being out of action for breaking his foot on 2 foot waves.
Yeah.
It's just like, what are the chances?
Yeah. Well, I said so since that time, when was that, like last October? So it's like exactly a year ago. And then I was out for the whole of like last winter swell. So that was like really difficult as well. But yeah, so I was, out yesterday surfing where I just said I was, and I was speaking to my mate Matty, and I was saying, I feel a bit weird now, like surfing bigger waves, like I'm a little bit more like concerned about stuff. And he says, look, Sally, you can just walk out the front door and like be injured. Like it's just, the amount you've never been injured before from it, you'll be absolutely fine. It's all in your head, isn't it? Really? So
I think it changes when you've got a child to think about as well. Everything changes then, or when you've got child, family responsibilities. Yeah. Like because some of the things we went out in when we were like 20, if you said now, oh, it's going to be this size, it'd be like, yeah, I'm not going anywhere near it. I'm going to stay at home, thanks, you know. Be like, oh, yeah, let's go out. It'd be a laugh.
I agree with you on that, actually, but I've got my husband looking at me going, well, I think for some reason something's a bit like different in my head, because I did the opposite. I was like, no, I'm not. I'm going to get better at surfing. I'm going to like do as much as I can. I'm going to, really push myself. After being one, I don't know, but I do get worried about, like my leash snapped on a big day. The other week.
I mean, that is terrifying, isn't it? Because that's your flotation device, isn't it? You know.
Yeah, I was really worried, and the place that I was heading was straight into a cliff that was like the tide was full, so there was no, and I was like, oh my God, this is so serious. What the hell am I going to do? And then Billy's flashing through, thinking, what are you doing, Sal? Like, what are you doing? You've got a little boy that you've got to look after. Like, what the hell are you doing? But, keep your head. And I was lucky that I got back and managed to stayed. So basically, you get swept one direction and it was heading towards the cliff, but there was like a gap where I still had time to like hit a part of the beach. And I made it, but pretty much only just. I'm sure like someone would have come out and seen me, maybe, because there's a few of us out there, but yeah, it was a lot going on in my head then, involving my son and feeling pretty stupid.
Yeah, I think you get that. You get that sort of that moment of panic and think like it's that thing of like everything shoots through your mind and you panic and you worry about like, oh, what about this? What about that? Yeah. And then the sooner you can get back into that situation of right, calm down, get yourself out of this. The easier it becomes. Yeah,
and then once you've survived it, you're like, oh, that's a good story. Right, when am I going surfing again?
I've forgotten. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. Well, it's been absolutely fantastic to talk to you. And if you want to tell everyone out there where they can find you online and in the world.
I always dread these podcasts and stuff. I always get really nervous, but thank you very much, because you've made me feel really comfortable talking as well. So I appreciate that.
No problem.
Yeah, it was really good. Thank you. So Yonder, you can find us on our website, which is www.surfyonder.com. Yeah, .com. And then Instagram is @surfyonder. Yeah, I think that's it, really. We've got an active Facebook page, we've got Yonder and then Sisters of the North Sea, where you can like meet other girls and stuff. And we've got a Slack as well, which is, I don't know if you've heard of Slack, but this is a way.
No idea what a Slack is at all.
Yeah, neither have I, but it's an app, and basically I've introduced it so like girls that come on my sessions can go on that, and then that's their like. There's different channels like Surf Advice and like can be for sale, or like different little groups and stuff that you can turn them on and off and just join them when you want. But it's just a way to meet other people, really, other girls surfing like across the UK. But I guess it's mainly got a lot to do with the East Coast and North East Coast at the minute. It's pretty cool.
Oh, that's cool.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, we really appreciate the time, and good luck for the future with Yonder.
Thank you very much, yeah, and let us know if you're ever up this way and you fancy a surf, or be cool.
Definitely. Thanks for that, Sally. She's great. The activism stuff is brilliant. That's right up my street.
Yeah, that's right up your street.
Yeah, power to the people, sticking to the man.
This is why one of the reasons we try not to talk about politics on this show is because he's one of the angriest people out there when it comes to politics and stuff.
It's inequality makes me angry.
Yeah, which is fair enough. But like even like.
You diverted things, so you could see me about a rant.
Yeah, very quickly. Even getting her son into like activism at a young age, and not activism, but he knows
taking him to a protest. That's a great thing.
Yeah,
that's a good thing.
He knows at a young age what is right and wrong already. At that age, he knows more than a lot of politicians at that age what is right and wrong already.
Yeah. Well, you can probably say that for most kids, I think.
Facts.
And that wave as well that. She took on the head and it broke her foot.
Yeah, well, she sent us the video after we chatted, and no.
I mean, it's a serious wave.
Yeah.
It's terrifying.
Yeah, it's a big wave, and to break your foot from being hit on the head is... I still can't, compute it in my head.
That's how chunky and heavy that wave must have been.
Yeah. That's mad, yeah. But as we said, go and check Yonder out. They've got a great line of clothing and they've got a great community. If you're in the north of the country, check them out. Female surfers up there, yeah.
I'm sure you'd be welcome.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so that's pretty much it for today's show. Thanks again, Sally, for coming on. Don't forget, if you want to support the show in any way, you can book the wave through our website, or you can become a member of Buy Me a Coffee, where you'll get additional posts and additional content on there and additional discount codes.
And if you don't want to do any of those things, just a subscribe on YouTube, that'd be great, or a 5-star review on iTunes.
Yeah.
That'd be lovely.
Yeah.
That is a way that you can support the show without spending any money.
Yeah, the way that works, the more 5-star reviews and written reviews we get on iTunes, the more iTunes will push it out to a wider audience as well.
Yeah, so more listeners equals good times.
Yeah. Okay, so that's pretty much it, and we will see you next time with someone. I can't remember. Bye.
See you later.